Sounds good.
It's my radio voice.
Yeah, I like it.
It's also I've been talking a lot voice.
Very diplomatic. Well, do you want to get started?
So I want to welcome everyone to another episode of the Ebor Muta Podcast. I am Taylor Durden. With me is my co-host with the most, Max Herman.
Nice to see you.
Tonight we are joined with Ybor City's hero, Tom DeGeorge. Welcome, man. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us for a bit.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, man. So what we like to do on this show is just kind of like just very relaxed, talk about, our personal histories throughout this town, our experiences, the stuff that we've seen, endured, participated in, and I'm sure you have dealt with quite a bit in this town.
I mean, time goes by so fast, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of look at my life like you have chapters in your life, and I think at some point you get a point to your life where you're cognizantly paying attention to who you are and what you're trying to do and where things are going. But I mean, for me, I got here to Ybor in 2001, and every once in a while I'll check myself, and it's almost 25 years ago, but I can still remember literally the first day I got here, and it feels like it was yesterday. But then I think about all the things I've done during that time frame, and you go, holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, we've all lived multiple lifetimes here.
Yeah. I was going to ask, 2001, you came into Ybor. Is that your earliest memory of Ybor City, or did you come here as a kid at all? Or
No, what happened was I was born in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Graduated from Penn State University.
Very good.
And while I was at Penn State, like most kids, I was working my way through school.
Yep.
Working in venues, and I was a criminal justice major.
Oh, wow.
By the time I graduated, I was making pretty good money, running venues and doing, we had a place out there called the Bryce Jordan Center.
Okay.
Where every once in a while, it was like 25,000 cap. And every once in a while, if they were doing bigger shows where they thought they would need extra help, I think we did Metallica and Kiss and some stuff like that. Their guy that was in charge of all the operations would call me up and say, hey, we have, ushers and stuff, but we're going to have open pit on the ground. So we need 20 guys or 30 guys or 40 guys, whatever it was that we think can take care of this. Would you help us out? And I would go to all the area venues out in Penn State, and I'd pull guys from the different clubs, and we'd go do that work. Cool. And make sure that, if anything really popped off, that we took care of it. So after I graduated, I was supposed to go into the police academy because I wanted to be a detective and
criminal justice,
criminal justice. And man, by that point I just fell in love with the music, and it had transformed. My background was always the safety and security stuff, but it just transformed into other, I've probably at this point, I always tell people, besides sound engineer, I've done every job you can do in the music industry. Every job.
Yeah.
And so at that point it morphed into that. I thought, I might want to just try to do this for the rest of my life.
That's awesome.
I had done my college internship at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, no kidding.
That's crazy.
Cool.
And it was a great opportunity. I didn't have the grades for it, to be honest with you, but the professor, I had a professor, his name was Professor Sullivan, who was a retired New York detective, and he just really liked me because I was a little bit crazy, I think. And
sometimes personality gets in, man.
We would do the forensic classes and stuff, and people would be like, oh my God, because they'd have a cadaver there or something. Yeah. I'd be all excited about
rolling up his sleeves.
Right.
Let's go.
Some of the other kids in the class would be like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. And I loved it. I loved everything about the forensics and the detective work and all that. And so even though my full grade average wasn't great, I was really good in my major. And because he was who he was, he got to what's the word I'm looking for? Approve or push forward two people that didn't fit the basic criteria. So I was one of those people. I thought, this is a
Nice.
great opportunity. I'm
Yeah.
going to the Olympics, you know?
Yeah. I didn't realize you were that athletic.
Well, I did box in high school. I boxed.
Hey, all right.
I did get to go see one boxing match when I was there, but we were working a lot, and I was out there for like a month, and I had one other day off, and I was like, I'm going to go to this place. I heard it's cool. I went to the Masquerade out there. So anyway, I'm making this story way longer than it probably
No.
is.
No. I was going to ask your origin.
I ended up then putting out a bunch of resumes out of Penn State, and I sent a ton of resumes out to the Atlanta area because I thought I really liked that area. The only club that hit me back up was the Masquerade. And so I went, they flew me there. I did 2 interviews with them. They called me in and they said, we're going to give you a job running this club. And it was a smaller dance club they had. It was like 300 cap. And I was like, fuck, dude, dance. Are you allowed to say swear words?
Say whatever you
I was
want.
like, fuck, dude, dance club, dude, that's not my thing.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, I got to get my foot in the door.
Right, you gotta start
I'm going
somewhere.
to do it. I'm not going to be a jerk about it.
Yeah.
They're just going to have you like a general manager
I
kind
was
of
going to
deal?
be the general manager of this
Yeah.
place, but I thought, this place sucks. I can't even remember the name of what it was. But I said, okay, no problem. But I did say to them, I said, if you ever need any help at the big place, just let me know. And so started at that other place, and then like a week went by. And they're like, there was 3 main owners, but the president, his name was Dean, and they said, Dean wants to talk to you over in the office. I thought, Jesus Christ, I got fired already. I can't
After
do
one
this.
weekend.
And so I go in there and I said, hey, what's going on? He goes, well, you said that you'd want to run the big club, or, we're thinking about firing this guy. Would you take the promotion? I was like, yeah, I would. And so I worked for the Masquerade Atlanta for 2 years. And because the home offices were there, every week we'd have like a full meeting, almost in like a room like this, but it's a little bit bigger, and there'd be like 14 people sitting at the table. It would be the managers of the different venues. It would be all 3 of the owners. It would be the bookers, the operations managers, and you're in there and you'd be talking about and I'm a fucking 23-year-old kid.
Just happy to be in the room, I bet.
No, and I'm sitting there after a year. There's a trend to all this. After a year, I'm like, they're micromanaging me. Like I felt like they were just trying to, you're micromanaging me.
Yeah.
I look back on that now. Like I said, like you look back on your life, I go, boy, what a dumbass you were, because
23, we were all kind
you're
of stupid.
23, you got to these people know way more than you.
Yeah.
But so then it happened again. All of a sudden, I'm there for 2 years. Dean wants to talk to him. I finally did it. I'm fired. And so I go up to his office, and he's like, you're always complaining, and I'm thinking, I'm definitely fired this time. I got a big mouth. I can't keep my mouth shut. And he's like, I'll make you an offer. Our manager in Tampa just quit, and I had just broken up with my girlfriend at the time.
Perfect.
And he was like, you can move to Tampa. We're still going to keep an eye on you. We're still going to want to talk to you, but it'll be like it's your own place. What do you want to do, big shot? And I was like, bye.
Yeah.
So we loaded me up in a U-Haul, and I came out. I got Ybor City. And that's when I, saw the Ritz Theater.
Right.
Yeah. And once again, first I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, this room's nowhere near as cool as the one in Atlanta was. Because that room was just different. It was an old wood chip mill. I don't know if you'd ever been to Excelsior Mills when the Masquerade was over there. Oh, my God. 3 different levels, old wood mill. They always said the place was haunted. It might have been.
Probably
but it was just very unique. And we weren't, at the time at Masquerade, we weren't doing tons of live music there, but they had promised me that we were going to shift more into a live music format. Anyway, it was only a couple days, and that's when I met Don Barco.
Nice.
Okay. And I would come in there and talk to him. He would tell me about the history of Ybor City. He would tell me about the importance of the Ritz Theater, and he would just stress to me, like, you have a larger obligation. He's like, you're a young man, but this is one that he would, he had basically said, like, that and the Cuban Club, the Italian Club, are basically the most important buildings in this entire district. And he had told me about some of the problems I had had in the past with previous management. And so I really took it to heart right from the beginning, like, you got to do things the right way so we're not impacting our neighbors in a negative way, but adding to the culture and the character of the district, and financially supporting our neighbors in a positive way.
Right.
So I try to take that real seriously, and when we failed, I always took it really to heart, because sometimes bad things happen.
Yeah,
not to cut you off, but the Don Barco thing, he came to me when I started doing tours. Well, we do our ghost tour out of King Corona, and he was close with my father, but when I was telling him I'm going to do history tours, he goes, "You don't understand how important that is." He's like, I know you're probably just a kid. I was 24, 25.
Yeah.
He's like, "I know you're a kid having fun, making some side money, but you have the legacy of this town in your hands." And I realized, like, all right, this is more than just some fun stories to tell strangers. Like, I have to really engulf myself in this town, and I did.
Yeah.
Don was a major influence on me.
He always gave some great advice.
Yeah, no
I
matter
miss
who
him
you
a
were.
lot.
What
He
a
was
cool
a great
dude.
guy.
Yeah.
And we worked on so many stuff over the years. I just felt like real blessed that he kind of like took me at him, I would say him, Jill Wax, Richard Boom. It was like they all took me under their wing relatively quick, and treated, not just taught me things, but treated me with a lot of respect.
Yeah.
Treated me like an asset, treated me like I belonged.
They can read people pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. They're brilliant individuals.
Yeah.
I had no idea that the masquerade was, I guess, a chain. I didn't realize that it was related to the other masquerade.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't really a chain. There was two. There was the one in Atlanta and the one here. The reason why they had the one here is because at least two of the owners, the majority of their family lived here.
Oh, okay.
And so it was, okay, we got the one in Atlanta, but we can operate one in Tampa too.
Yeah.
I mean, it eventually got to the point, when we closed, we had the incident, of course, with Tommy when he passed, which was like one of the worst days of my life. It was much worse for his wife and family.
Yeah.
But
a lot of us were affected by that.
I think about that day all the time, and it's really, at least to the credit, it's really affected, that when you have that kind of traumatic experience, and I think, they refer to some things as survivor's remorse.
Yeah.
You could do two things. You can, and I did for a while, I self-medicated for a few years where I did things definitely the wrong way. But at one point, kind of just woke up one day and said, you're literally going to drink yourself and kill yourself.
Yeah.
But if you don't,
and who's that going to help?
I didn't even, and to that point, like we ended up closing about a year after that. We were already in a downward spiral there anyway.
Yeah.
And I knew that they were either trying to sell or move on. And then, of course, that happened, and it made things real clear very quickly that was going to be it. And so after we closed, I kind of like went through the motions for like the last year, and then we closed. And there was a period of time when I was up in my apartment above the Ritz that all I did was just I barely even left the place. Jeez. I mean, my power had went out at one point.
Depression.
I'm up there with my dog, and I didn't even have power, and I'm not even. It's not that I didn't have the money to pay the bill, but I just didn't feel like paying the bill.
Yeah.
But anyway, finally one day I woke up and thought, you have to do something here. You're gonna, not gonna be well. It even carried over into the opening of Crowbar, like the first.
I was going to ask about that. I mean, was that kind of your bounce back move?
I wanted it to be, but and I thought it could be, but then when we started to do it, all that trauma was still there,
right.
and so I was just having a really hard time. And then I think, it was about around the time I met my wife, I think.
Oh, okay.
I tell her all the time, I'm like, I think he saved my life.
Right, yeah.
Because for some reason, even though I was a mess, like she saw something in me, and it made me want to snap out of what I was in, thank goodness.
Yeah. There's a quote from Jose Marti where he says, all you need in this world really is a good book and a good woman.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes it can save your life.
It did.
It did. I could testify to that for
exactly.
sure. Yeah. So Crowbar was what, 06, right?
06, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's so legendary. It's because I know you guys have a little history together, but I always knew he was like, he owns Crowbar, which is one of my favorite concert venues in not only Ybor, but Tampa, Florida, man. I've had so many good memories there. And, when it opened up, I'm sure it was quite a project for you, but it kind of became more and more popular over the years with all the different people that came that way. Do you have any like bands in your mind that you're like, man, I can't believe they're on my stage,
This is going to sound crazy, but when people ask me that, I always draw a complete blank.
Really?
Like I sit there, people are like, what are your favorite shows that have their Crowbar? And I always draw a complete blank. I can't even, people will say, "Hey, man, what's the last few gigs you did?" And I don't remember. Like once it's over, I'm like, "What did we have
Crumble it
last
up,
week?"
toss it out. Yeah.
But like honestly, a few things like off the top of my mind that stand out was obviously, we had Under Oath a couple times. We had Old Dominion come on that surprise show, and then Kenny Chesney ended up playing too, which I knew but nobody else knew.
That's amazing.
And for years I've been I don't know if anybody watches Survivor. Like I'm a big Survivor fan, so like I'm a vault. Like I can keep a secret so easy because I love to blindside people. So I'm sitting there like we're doing the Old Dominion thing, and everybody in there's so excited, and even the staff, and I'm sitting there thinking, you guys,
you guys don't have
Kenny Chesney's about to come out of there.
That's a big one in your pocket, man.
Obituary.
I used to hang out with Ralph from Obituary a lot.
Obituary and R.I.P. for sure. Man, he was
a
one
handful.
of a kind.
Yeah, man.
One of a kind. I got a lot of stories about him. The Battles concert was really, really good. And all of our local stuff that we've done, like when we did with Have Gun Will Travel, and we had an array of all the different artists, and Sean O'Brien helped put together the Last Waltz thing. The old Dirty Sundays days, doing that, and now we do the church session stuff. I just think the national stuff is great, but I think we have such an incredible network of local talent here, and not just the artists themselves, whether that's bands or DJs or hip hop MCs or poets. They're all great, but we also have great people with passion in this area. I think a lot of that, not all those people live in Ybor City, but that's what draws them to Ybor City, because they have that love for art and for the grit and the music and just everything's a little weird.
It's a beacon of creativity,
it's like a
and
beacon
weirdness,
of creativity, and it's a little weird. You get the freaks and the geeks, like people that maybe in other spots when they were growing up they weren't quite as cool or whatever, but here they're cool. Here it's like we like that. We like the kind of diversity. We want you to be who you are, and it all blends in, and hopefully we can keep it that way.
I mean, for a lot of us,
as long as possible.
Yeah, for a lot of us, it's like a church. Because it's
this place,
you're congregating under a commonality, and like you said, all walks of life. Just to go see like this one event or this one show. I mean, I've been to so many shows at Crowbar. And to see the crosshatch of people that come, it's amazing.
On the note of keeping it weird, though, like you were saying, man, I mean, Ybor's in a direction where it's like, we're getting a lot of condos popping up, and of course, like your situation with your lease ending up, it's like, where do you see Ybor going from here? I mean, you don't have to get too into it.
No, we can get into it. I mean, this actually came up on the campaign trail. I mean, obviously, affordable housing development's a big conversation. It came up in a forum we were doing yesterday. And obviously, I'm not going to run from it because it was so, obviously during the pandemic, and even prior to that, even prior to the pandemic, Daryl in the development has been something that's been in the works for probably about 15 years, I'd say, really. And I think it's fairly common knowledge, like you could Google it, that if you Googled our names together, a lot of articles, and then put the mayor in there too. You'd have the developer, the mayor, and then somebody like the person that stands in front of the tank. And it's me, and I'm just one of those people that's always been a very vocal person. And I think that's, helped me with the advocacy for the Save Our Stage and stuff. But on the home front, I think what made me so vocal, and I don't know if people really can understand this, is when we were going through what we were going through here, and we're fighting for that federal funding to save these rooms all over the country. I'm on these screens with these people. It's literally, besides my wife, because everybody's pretty much on lockdown, I'm on these screens with these 40 people from around the country. And that's the people that I was with the most, because we were fighting around the clock to save these rooms all around the country. And even when we weren't on the screens, we would be texting. We had email threads. I mean, there was nights I'd be up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning strategizing with these people or commiserating with them. And the thing was, all those people had the same stories. You know, in their communities, they were like, development now is even speeding up. We've got our hands tied behind our back, and development's speeding up. And so that trauma, you know, that situation made it much more of the house is on fire situation, because it was very clear to me, this isn't just a local situation, right? This is going to happen all over the country. And if we don't do something, it's not just like the clubs in Ybor will be wiped out. You're going to have clubs in Atlanta wiped out. You're going to have clubs in Buffalo wiped out, Pittsburgh, Nashville,
all the country,
Cleveland,
Portland,
all over, right? So it was very real and it was very serious. And then it made me very angry because, and I said this a ton of times in every interview I did, it wasn't, I never looked at it like the pandemic wasn't real. I think that was very clear from my local work that I did here. When you know, as soon as they would let me open, I got with other restaurants and places that had been open. And I said, let's form Safe and Sound. Like, I got this idea, let's do this. I have been talking to the people, Dr. Wilson over there at Tampa General, and some other people have been messaging me. I watch the news as much as I can, just like try to stay up on top of it, as painful as it is sometimes. And I knew that our hospitals were overflowing, and I thought, we need to start something here where we're encouraging businesses to operate as safely as possible, because I'm trying to do it right down the street. There's a club that's got 1,500 people in it, and nobody's doing anything about it.
So, I remember you holding a lot of them accountable publicly,
and it was great. It was a lot. It was very hard to stand up to people all the time to, you know, it's like I tell people, like when you turn on the lights and the cockroaches are on, some people just keep the lights off. I'm like, I'm turning on the lights. Like, this is bullshit. Like, and if you're going to tell me that we're not supposed to be doing this, but there's no enforcement, then what are we supposed to do?
What's the point then?
I think that's why you have such a big backing here, especially in not just Ybor, but a lot of District 5 has your back, and it's because we've seen you do it.
Well,
I mean, we know you'll go out there, you'll fight. We know that you have passion for it. So, like, once you threw your hat in the ring, I was like, all right, man, this is going to be something now.
And so, but I guess back to the development, because that's what it was. Like, my stories go like
we'll try and circle you back.
Quentin Tarantino movie. They fly all over the place. So it was very clear to me. It was like, I never said the pandemic was fake. I believed the pandemic was real, but I believed that there were administrations that weaponized the pandemic against small business owners and used it to increase development and give a leg up to developers and large corporations and big box stores. And I mean, aside from Daryl, like if you look what happened with the Live Nation and Ticketmaster merger and bot ticketing and all these things that we're still fighting with the National Independent Venue Association day in and day out, like when I was in D.C. And I went to talk to the antitrust division about this as our representative for all of NEVA, which is probably one of my proudest moments to be able to be asked to do that. Like out of all the people that we had, they wanted me to go to D.C. to talk to the Attorney General or AG for the antitrust division and plead our case to them about how this merger and how this large corporation's like literally killing our independent venues. I took that real seriously. But I looked at it and I was thinking, like, you know, this isn't right. You know, we're not allowed to open. We have no money. Nobody's taking care of any of our overhead, any of our bills. We're being told if we try to open that they'll basically pull our liquor license from us. And then you have the building owners that aren't rich. A lot of those people don't have tons of money. So those people, and then you also have people from up north. We had that problem too, that people would fall behind on their lease and, you know, thinking like, well, who else is going to come in here? I can't afford this. And you'd have these people coming in from New York that had plenty of money, that couldn't open it all there, and they'd be like, I'll come. And then they were handing a bunch of money to landlords that needed money, that then were kicking out the locals who have paid taxes for years and years and years, and just said, too bad, sorry, this New York person's come in and buy.
Gotta get the underline,
And it's like, where was our local city government to stop any of this from happening unless they were silently complicit in what was happening to our local businesses?
I think they just saw green, and they were like,
I think it was part of a larger agenda, that they saw green. And I mean, but when you break it down like that, it's absolutely deplorable. It's like development and gentrification. I know they don't they want to say urban renewal.
Yeah, you can't say urban renewal even is a bad word.
It's a bad word because what happens is, and this is what I plead to Daryl or any developer with, it's don't remove the charm and the grit from an area. All right? Accentuate it, add to it, but don't
that's what brought them here in the first place.
Right,
the charm, the historic district.
And you should want as much diversity in that area as possible, and as much quirkiness, and you should want to keep the weirdness, because we already have a Water Street. We don't need to look like Water Street here in Ybor City.
I agree.
And, from the beginning, because I was with the Ybor Chamber of Commerce, long before the pandemic happened, I had seen the plans. So I know what the intent was, for Gasworks. I know that over the next few years, the goal would be to make sure that anything remotely close to being an independent live music venue or a nightclub is gone. They don't want it here at all. They want a walkable community, mostly restaurants and shops.
Yeah, like a Hyde Park.
Not even Hyde Park at least has dance clubs and DJ clubs.
Oh, do they?
They don't want that here at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Hyde Park Cafe. It's still open.
That's right.
And I mean, and they deal with the cars out there.
Yeah.
They don't want that here at all.
No, I mean, he's publicly stated it.
He has stated.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, going back to city agendas. I mean, fast forward then, because this fight that I don't even like calling it a fight, because I love my city. I just want my city to understand that a lot of us that break our backs every day because we love our city, that we need to be listened to sometimes, and we actually know some things, And so if you fast forward then to when we had the shooting a couple of years ago,
that was
it was horseshit.
Yeah,
and
I was just gonna say
leading up to that for over a year, because we had, with NEVA, the Save Our Stages was already done. Because of my background with criminal justice, and now I do the safety and security operations for my consulting company, and I had all that data, and everything felt strange then anyway. You would think like, oh, you get back open, everything's going to be cool. There was a lot of weird energy at that time. There was a lot of civil unrest, the George Floyd stuff. It just happened, rightfully so. People should be mad. You're trying to give them some respite, but nobody wanted to be respectful of each other. I think like that big divide had already formed, where you wearing a mask? What are you an idiot?
Everybody's sitting indoors, freaking out a little bit.
So bad. And so I had already been having concerns and putting together safety and security plans for other venues, and talking with different members of TPD. I can't even remember all the different, because the captains change. The one I remember the most was I worked with Captain Owen for a while, and I was putting together these plans so we would keep the venue safer. We had neighborhood watch channels just in case we saw something on the street. And I think the moment that the shit really hit the fan was the Super Bowl. Because we had the Super Bowl here. We're not ready for the Super Bowl. I'm going, what are we going to do with the Super Bowl? We're still like literally supposed to be limited in cap here.
We were just shut down. Now we have the biggest stage in America.
And the street was absolutely packed.
Bananas. In Ybor City, it was a total shit show. But then you would go on the news, and Mayor Jane Castor's over at the Super Bowl site, and she's talking about how safe it is here, and we love things. And then they'd come and talk to me. I'd go, look at this. This is fucking crazy.
It's pandemonium. It was crazy.
It was pandemonium. And I'll never forget And that's what we had the shootings like back to back. People weren't talking about it. And then they interviewed me. I was saying, we're having shootings out here.
Yeah.
And I know it pissed off a lot of the local administration because they're like, this guy's fucking ruining everything for us.
Well, they clean up the city when the dad comes home. You know what I mean?
They cleaned up the areas that they wanted to show. They didn't really appreciate somebody like me ending up on ESPN saying, does this look good to you? Look at this shit. And then I'll never forget, because we didn't really have that many events going on at that time. And honestly, after a lot of that shit happened, I was like, I don't even want to be open for at least a week. I was at home and I was watching Saturday Night Live, and there we are. We were on Saturday Night Live on their news skit. They're like, and here in Tampa, Florida, look at these morons in the middle of the pandemic. And
I missed that one.
My
Damn.
God.
I was look that up.
I've never been so embarrassed because literally all the people from Neva were like, holy shit, dude, we just saw the footage of Ybor City on Saturday Night Live. Like, is that really what Tampa's like? And I'm like, it's kind of what's going on. You know?
You take the good with the bad, of course. You know, like you said, with the grit of Ybor City, there's going to be some real grimy parts underneath that, too. The underbelly will have warts on it, here and there. But at the same time, like, you got to really appreciate that. And back to the subject of, like, development and Daryl, I do, to his credit, give him the credit that he's naming these condos Pedroso, Marti. He's putting a little history on it, but the condo itself is a one-bedroom for $3,000 a month.
Right,
like,
who's going to afford that?
Nobody in Ybor will.
And what does that do? And this is, development's fine.
Yeah.
Accentuate the area. Don't change the area so much and price it out so much that the people that love that area can no longer afford to be in that area.
I've been saying this for years, that we are a tourist destination, and we come here, people come here. I go to like places like Chicago, Key West or whatnot, these destinations, and I want to hang out with a bartender. I want to meet the people that provide the hospitality for the tourists. And it pains me when we have a place like this that is now going to become where those hospitality workers cannot live in the area that
they can't
they're serving the population.
We are Manhattan.
I have employees that have to drive from Riverview, just to work.
And that's
in
the
Tampa.
other thing too.
It
like
sucks.
Transit thing too. Like on the subject, like I said, we're not Manhattan, but at least they can take a train to their job if they live in the Bronx. You know what I mean? If you live in Riverview, you have to drive, you have to pay for parking, you have to it's a tough situation to get into the Ybor area. Whereas when we were all hanging out before the pandemic, people would live above their place that they worked at. You know what I mean? It was a much simpler situation.
I mean, it's like we have all this focus on all this development, but the infrastructure that we should have in place to go along with it is anemic. It's, I don't know, I'm very concerned. I mean, I'm already concerned because I look at Ybor City and I look at it, I say, well, aside from the history, like you said, it's great to name these places something, but aside from the history, what will our identity in real time be? Right. When people come here, what's our identity? What will be the charm in it?
Are we French restaurant or are we, reservoir bar? What are we, Yeah, if you need to pause, feel free.
No.
Okay. Because we can always edit and stuff, so.
No, it's fine. Shutting it off. It's going bleep, 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 bleep in my pocket. I'm going, man.
Somebody as busy as you probably.
It's all right.
Let's loosen things up a bit. He told me you got married at the Don Vincente, one of my favorite places on our ghost tour. We used to go in every single night. The Shivers are always very good to us. I totally missed the Don Vincente, so I want to talk a little bit about that. If you don't mind.
I mean, that's still kind of in the development. But we did. We got married at the Don Vincente. It was a great day. We the Shivers took really good care of us.
They're great
like
people.
You said, the whole family. I've always had a really great relationship with them, and they couldn't have taken any better care of us because they literally, when I came, like, I guess I could tell this story now because it's not
please.
there.
Come on.
I say, hey, listen, what do we owe you? And they literally just said, don't even worry about it, Tom.
Amazing. Amazing, dude.
I'll get emotional saying that.
I know.
Because it was when the people in your community do something like that for you, it brings everything full circle. It's like, wow, here's a place like this, and they respect me so much that they're literally telling me, don't worry about it. And, they didn't have an empty room in the hotel or whatever, but anybody else, I know that they would have charged way more than, and they went like literally all out for us.
Right.
And to keep it light, I will tell you a funny story about the wedding though.
Let's hear it.
So we send out the invites, and we did. I think the way it worked was we did it by email or something. They had an RSVP via email, and then things weren't coming in, and we realized that we had put the wrong email, but we had already sent out all the invites. So at that point, we had no idea who was coming and who wasn't.
Nice.
And so then we just said, well, fuck it, who cares?
Surprise.
Anybody wants to come, come. And whatever happens, happens. And there ended up being like a lot of people there.
Probably some people snuck into that too.
Well, that was it. It was like, anybody can come, I don't care. And I just started telling people, like, if you can get an invite, just come, I don't care.
I love it.
And so we had a really, it was almost like it was a concert. We had a really good turnout.
Nice.
Josh Holden played the piano for us and stuff, and it was really cool because it felt like Ybor. It felt DIY.
Community.
It felt like community.
Do
it felt like DIY.
yourself. I love
it
that.
felt like who gives a shit?
Right.
Let's just have fun. And then people could ride the trolley because it was the middle of the summer, and people would get on the trolley from the Dawn and go down to Crowbar, and then we did the after party
Oh, cool.
at Crowbar and had poetry and lotion and play and stuff.
there
and
you go. Yeah.
those guys, a couple of them were throwing up at the at the Dawn in the parking lot. Going, what are we
Sorry
doing?
about that.
And then, like halfway through the party, me and my wife snuck out, and we ended up just getting a pizza
Nice.
and going on the roof of the Dawn and just sitting out there and
that's
looking at
I love
Ybor
that.
At your city. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just take it all in,
Yeah.
it feels so good to have that recognition, with Shiver doing something like that.
Right.
That's-
Yeah.
I mean, that's, well, what
It was
a
nice
magical
moment.
night. Yeah.
And it was like I said, prior to that, after everything that had happened, and it was like a full circle moment. We're up there on the roof, and I'm looking over the whole city, and I was like, look at this. I'm sitting here with my wife, and we're eating pizza, and
I know.
life is pretty good. We
That's a
came
beautiful
out
picture.
of the, I always tell people too, if you stick with things long enough, as hard as things get, if you stick with things long enough, the sun, it will come up.
Right.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
things will happen.
Yeah.
And if anything, once it does, the feeling you get from coming out of the other side of that kind of really tough situation, it makes it that much sweeter, And I try to tell people that all the time because when I look around now, I see so many people struggling, and I struggle every day too. And I think we just I
think we all
live
kinda
in
do
a
it.
society right now where it is hard.
It's
just
amplified, too,
to go day to day. So gotta stay positive.
That's the truth, I'll tell you. And thinking about the Shivers, just saying don't worry about it, reminds me of kind of the Ybor that I knew for so long. Now it seems like you can't even really get a cup of coffee for free anywhere anymore.
Yeah, right.
But back in the day, people would give the shirt off their back. They'd be like, "Yeah, man, what are you cold? Here, I got you." We still. That's what we're trying to kind of do with this is. Remind people that Ybor City, no matter where it goes, is always going to have its Ybor City to it. It's always going to have its punk, its grit. It's always going to have, it'll never be, I said this before, it will never be Coca-Cola presents Ybor City.
Yeah.
It will always be Ybor City, its uniqueness.
I mean, I think it's up to all of us to make sure that that's true.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, we got to keep our
got to
community.
protect our community.
Yeah. And with community, we're going to have changeover. People are going to age out, age in, and to keep that kind of that ball rolling,
I'll tell you,
it's tough.
I give tours to a lot of people that are like, I just moved here from different states. I'm going to school at USF or UT or something. And they're 20 years old. And I tell them about this place. I show them the spots that I like. And then next thing you know, they bring 6 more people to come on the tour. And then they're like, you got to see Ybor City. A lot of people never even heard of this place. They were like, I'm moving to Tampa. What's this little spot called Ybor? Is that where everybody gets drunk and throws up? No, there's a lot more to it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it is family here. The thing about Ybor too, it's almost like the mafia. Like once you're in, and they're all in with you.
Yeah.
If you want to get out, then you can, but you're not really going to be the same once you leave.
Well, that's why it's Ybor Muta.
Yeah, Ybor Muta, yeah.
Some people get lost. Some people sail right on through.
Exactly.
Some people make it. You know.
Yeah.
So you've been doing Crowbar now for 19 years.
Yep.
Right. Next year is going to be it.
Yeah.
Right. So what are over the last 19 years? What are some of like do you put as like the highs and lows of like venue ownership, running, that kind of thing? You and I spoke quite a few times going out. You've even joked like, we're going to talk about this for sure. It's like, the people that come in, your single serving clients that they've only been there the one time and they're gone, and then you have your regulars. It's like there's got to be reward and detriment all at the same time every night.
I mean, it's the one thing I could say is those 19 years, it's never been easy.
Yeah.
And it's a tough industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really tough industry, and I don't know. There's been many times over the last 19 years that I was like, I don't know if we're gonna make it another few months.
Mm-hmm.
People, even when in 2021, when I saw what was happening, and that's when I had talked to my landlord and said, listen, I see what's going on here. And my lease was scheduled to end in 2022, and he was doing like year extensions, and I was like, Ron,
that's not really
I see what's happening,
wall,
and I knew what was going on with the development and what I had seen happen in other cities, and that was at the point where I said, I know I'm eventually going to get forced out of here, but I want you to extend the lease. Do me a solid, like extend my lease to 2026.
Yeah.
So at least I can leave on my own terms, and I can make myself whole
and get a solid
through this
20.
pandemic.
Yeah.
I just thought
Yeah.
I don't want to do all this work during the pandemic for Save Our Stages, and then
just to shut down.
I'm going to get shut down in 2022 or 2023.
Yeah.
I need to come out of this thing all the way and then have a proper send off. And he was gracious enough to tell me hey, I'm going to work with you, but so it's it. But and then there was so many periods from 2021 to 2026 that I was like, am I even going to make it to the end of the lease?
Yeah.
Things were really touch and go about a year and a half ago, and somehow we were able to turn it around. And that's it. I've probably had like a cat, at least 100 times during the 19 years we were there where I thought, oh my God, there's $50 in the safe. What are we going to do? And there was times that we had to come up with extra money, either myself or Devin or Bonnie. Bonnie passed back, but when she was with us, taking out loans, I'll take out a loan this time, or you take out a loan, or Devin's going to put this on his credit card.
Just
we
shoveling
just did
water out of the
whatever
boat,
we could to just keep it going, and the last few years I did a lot of that, but I'm feeling pretty confident. Hopefully this hurricane season won't be too much, and we'll get to the end. But I think that it goes back to Ebert, that the struggle to keep the room there is what I think has been most rewarding about it. Because at the end of the day, if it was easy, it wouldn't feel so good,
right.
And so as this thing winds down, there's a lot of nights where everybody leaves and I'm still there by myself, and I just sit in the room empty and have 2 or 3 drinks, and just kind of look around and go, this has been a large chapter of my life.
I mean, you've built a temple.
You think about doing a yearbook or something, like some kind of dedication?
I've thought, I don't know exactly what to do. I've had a few different people through the relationships with Save Our Stages and stuff that hit me up. My buddy Chris Cobb had the exit in over there, and when he actually got forced out by development, and when he left, he did do a book where he wrote the foreword, and then the book was just filled with pictures from over the years.
I think that'd be great.
I thought about that. I also thought about maybe contacting every local artist that ever did a band poster for us and just putting together just a gigantic book of all the local art
and stuff, and
just all the local art that we had over the years, and then seeing how many we can sell, and maybe either giving a portion of it back to the local artists or starting a fund for local artists. I don't know. I mean, there's been so much I've been doing and so much to think about. I don't know what the right answer is, but I do know that, when that place closes, that it's going to be a big deal. I've told people, my goal wasn't to make it the longest funeral. It was to make it the longest celebration.
Yes, I love that.
And I hope people catch up to that, because now we're at less than a year. It sneaks up on you, Because I still have people all the time. They're like, "Oh my God, can't we keep it open for another 3 years?" I'm going, "This is it."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's literally just no way to keep it open even another. I was hoping that at least, maybe we get something big that could happen in like October 2026. We could extend a few months, but the process has already begun to try to figure out what they're going to do with it afterwards. So I think it's going to be a hard close on July 31st.
Yikes.
Wow.
Man,
wow, crazy.
It's going to be a hell of a party, though.
I mean, and I'm sure it'll be bittersweet as well.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is, obviously bitter in the fact that we're losing Crowbar and a big piece of you and everyone else, but sweet at the same time. Like, man, I imagine you're tired. Because I've been doing the same, I've been a mechanic my whole life. And here I am at 46, and I've been saying I have 4 more years, and I'm no longer turning wrenches for money.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Right.
My body, I'm tired. I love it. It's a passion. I will always be involved in it. But I'm not going to ruin my body and my mental state any longer past 50.
Yeah.
And the stress, of course, like you said, when you're looking in the safe, you're like, I got nothing but cobwebs in here. That stress will float away eventually. The memories are going to, stay with you forever, but the stress will float away after time.
I mean, the financial part of it is extremely stressful.
Yeah.
My colleagues in different cities or whatever will also say to me, like, a lot of the people that own their places aren't nearly as hands-on as me.
Yeah.
Like they
That's
have a
for damn
manager
sure.
or something.
I mean, every time I went, I'd be, oh, that's the owner right there. Oh, yeah, that's Tom. Yeah.
I mean, I probably, even with all the other stuff I do now, like honestly, up until my life changed when the Save Our Stages stuff started.
That was huge.
Because it opened up all these other doors, where I'm doing panels for us at our conferences now. And I'm talking to 1,000 business owners. And all of a sudden I realized, because then whatever we were talking about, and most of my stuff was centered around, once again, back to the Tommy Laskus thing, I had already tried to make a difference locally to make my venue safer and to help my neighborhood get safer. It was kind of like, if you're going to do this, this is what you have to do. But then with the NEVA thing, I'll never forget, I went to our executive director. I said, listen, I know the Save Our Stages is going to be over soon, and we have to work for our membership in other ways. And I had this incident happen at my place, in 2005, and I want to use that to help all of our membership to create safer opportunities. And so I would do these panels at the conference, and then what happened was people come up to me afterwards and say, hey, listen, you really know a lot about what you're talking about. Have you ever thought about helping? And I thought, holy shit, I could actually run a consulting firm and help some other people. So I did that. I did the Detour Company and Florida Maverick Artist Management, and it all came from the Save Our Stages. But even with all that, if we do 300 shows a year, I'm still at least at like 260 of them.
Yeah.
Because I really do love it. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. It's a baseball movie. I cry every time I watch it. I cry even thinking about it because I relate to it so much.
Yeah.
It's Kevin Costner. It's called
Field of Dreams.
For the love of the game.
Yeah,
Everybody loves Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's this movie for the love of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's an old pitcher that basically they're like, hey, sorry, man, your time has come. He's not ready to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to pitch this last no-hitter for you. And I've kind of looked at it like that. Like when I talk to people and they're like, dude, how on earth have you been doing this many shows a year for 31 years? Because I started working in these clubs when I was 20. And with the exception of that year and a half during the pandemic, I have been away from whichever home I was at and out in the evenings at these concerts like 300 nights a year.
Hands on.
And so I'm lucky in the sense that I have taken on these other responsibilities to fill the void that when I don't have, because I've always had a building. It was either the first one was at Crowbar and State College, which is how I got the name for this one, because it was the first room I started working at consistently.
This is at Penn State?
At Penn State.
Okay.
I was there for like 3 years.
Okay.
It's when I fell in love with everything. I was like, this is the best. It's when I met the Genitorturers. They were playing there.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just heard about them the other day from somebody that they did a show at the Ritz and literally grab people on stage and do their thing. Right?
I will tell you a story about that.
Yeah.
You want to keep it light? I'll keep it real light.
We kind of do want to have some fun too.
We're sitting there and We have the Genitortures over there.
Well, for those that don't know, the listener, who are the Genitortures? It's a woman's group, right?
Her name's Jen.
Yeah.
Yep.
GEN,
Yeah.
and that's where the name comes from. And they're basically like, I call them a shock rock porn band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where they're like metal kinda, but it's based around like fetish type stuff. And they were playing at the Crowbar in Penn State. My buddy, who was the other head of security that I work with over there, that we had gotten so many brawls in that place back then, because that's kind of what you did back then. Now security, thank goodness, has changed where it's much more community policing model is how I do my stuff, at least. De-escalation training. Back then, we just fought.
That's how I was when I was a bouncer.
Right, we just fought.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, somebody wants to fight, we're going to fight your ass.
Absolutely.
Right out of the building, and then we're going to throw you on the ground and wait for the cops to come. And that'll be it. But he was leaving. He was moving to Chicago. Now he's my brother-in-law.
Oh, wow.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But he was leaving, and so I took the night off, and we were just going to watch the show. Well, we had one buddy who wanted to come to the show, and they were asking for volunteers. And I said, all right, well, we'll take care of you. So we get this guy, we sneak him in, make him to be one of the volunteers. And he's just so excited that he's going to get to go on stage with the Genitortures. You know what's going to it. And so they had this one girl that was with them. And all she was doing all day, she had a gallon water jug. And she was just drinking water all day. And I thought, that's so odd. I wonder why she's drinking all this water. So anyway, we're up there.
He's already laughed because he knows where it's going.
We're up there in the balcony, me and my buddy Lance, who, like I said, is now my brother-in-law. And we're sitting there, and I'm telling him, we're having a moment. I'm putting my arm around him saying, I'm really going to miss you, buddy. I can't believe it. And then we're sitting there, and then here comes my buddy, Benny or whatever his name was. I don't even remember his name. And they're pulling him on stage. His hands are tied up. And I was like, oh, there's Benny, And then they put him down on the ground. He's on his back. And this girl just gets over him, squats over him, and just pees all over him.
Yeah, buddy.
And it was literally the longest urination that I've ever seen in my life. Like, right in his face. And we're just up there and we're going, ooh, that's probably not what
he
was
bargained
expecting.
for. Yeah.
And you could literally, when you see the person, there's just nothing you do about it. Like, I could see him. We could see him from the balcony. He's kind of just like looking at us like, oh my God, what's happening to me? And I'm just going, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
That's what you got what you wanted though. So.
Yeah, there was no YouTube at the time. Like, let me just see what these people are about.
No, literally. I guess. I like the story I heard at the Ritz is they pull a guy up there, they put a tight thing around his nutsack, and they just started torturing his balls.
Yeah.
And one of my friends said that when he saw it, he's like, all I kept thinking was, I wish it was me. I'm like, that's not my cup of tea, man.
No thanks.
I mean, she's still killing it. She's still
doing it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
She's still doing it.
I see her almost every weekend. She's a regular at the castle.
Damn, I didn't even know. That's pretty well, what were we talking about before I cut you off with the Genitortures thing? Oh, Crowbar, Penn State.
Yeah. And then it was, like I said, Masquerade, Atlanta, then Masquerade, Ybor, and then Crowbar. So over 31 years of that many nights, So, yeah, it's like at some point you got to say it's time. It's time for me to do something different.
So what's next?
Yeah, you're pivoting into politics again now. So
I mean, I want the city council thing to happen. I think I have a reasonable shot at the city council seat. I think it's a hard seat because it's District 5.
It's huge district.
And
if it was just Ybor, you're a landslide.
If it was just Ybor, I think I'm a landslide. If it was a citywide thing, I think I'm a landslide. I know people all over the city. Because it's District 5, you have to live in District 5 to vote. And there's a lot of neighborhoods in District 5, Jackson Heights, Belmont Heights, that whole area in East Tampa, Sulphur Springs, that aren't as familiar with me and probably don't trust me very much. And I've been working extremely hard to gain trust in those areas, but I would understand why they would look at me and think, this guy's not going to give a shit about us at all because all he cares about is Ybor City. At the end of the day, that's actually why I want to do it. I want to serve those communities. I feel like I keep telling and I've done many, many forums. And what I've told my campaign is I want to go into those areas. I want to do forums and compete in those areas to tell people, like, yes, I've been Ybor centric. Everybody's central. you can't be
Yeah.
central to all of District 5.
It's huge.
Right.
Like you've got people, like I said, in my area, you got people in the Heights.
Well, it's
you
also
got people in
downtown
Sulphur
too,
Springs,
isn't it? Like parts of downtown. Yeah.
And so every one of those communities is going to have different needs.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to tell them is if you just look at my resume for what I've done in my area,
Yeah.
once this entire thing
Is your
becomes my
area.
responsibility,
Yeah.
just know that if anything, I'm probably going to work harder in your areas because that's how I am. Like I want you, if I get that job, I'm not going to let you down. Like I want to show people my tenacity and my grit and my determination to improve your quality of life. You know, it's super important to me. So there's that. Like I said, I've been doing, you know, the FMAM and FMAM events. It's artist management, but then we do our events, and we do events at the skate park. We do events at Shuffle. We do events at New World Brewery. That would grow exponentially, I would hope. And then the work I'm doing with Detour, which is basically we help independent artists tour around the country. We've partnered recently with Live Music Society. We did a thing called One Night Live where we take, I don't know if you know what incubators are. There's incubators in different areas that are non-profits. That like there's Salt Lick, which was the first one we did it with, where we took their artists and then we worked with them in Live Music Society to route them on a national tour and then put them with other independent artists inside those communities. And we were very effective. And I did a panel on it.
Cool.
I did a panel on it at the last NEVA convention in Milwaukee, and we had a full house of people where we were explaining this model to them. We're doing a second one that will start in November with an artist called Kid Tiger that's out of Cleveland and works with Cleveland Rocks. And we have other independent, I don't want to give too much of it away, we have other independent organizations because of what we already did and other companies that want to give us money because it's a viable artist development model that hasn't existed until now. And I think it's going to become a real model that not only will help lift up those independent artists, but will help the independent venues because we put subsidies behind it so that these venues that agree to take on the shows actually get funding to offset it if they don't make as much money as they would have. So we're like covering their operating costs and stuff.
That's great.
So
man.
Yeah, what a
my
cool
consulting
program.
company.
Yeah,
my
well,
consulting
the cool
company.
thing about like the independent thing, I mean, everybody's favorite band started as something small, and everybody loves discovering a brand new band. Oh my God, I found this band, and they're not going to discover it if they can't get on the stages. So.
Right, and if we don't have the venues anymore, so it all ties into the mission statement of keeping these rooms around, lifting them up, lifting up the artists. So I mean, I guess the goal for the future would be to continue to work in music, and also hopefully be city council person in Tampa, Florida, because we're not going anywhere. Me and my wife, we love the city. She loves teaching here.
It's evident,
She's the same way I am. We look at what's happening with the education system, with the state, and what they're trying to do, and she doesn't want to leave here because she knows how important it is in that public school system, with the public school system under attack, to have quality teachers.
Gotta have fighters, man.
Hey, for anybody out there that says like the teachers are the problems and stuff, let me tell you something. You haven't looked at what's happening.
Right.
Because the teachers in the public school system in this city and every city are saints. The work they do and the opportunity that they give these kids. She's got kids that live in their van, that they don't even have a home. And she's trying to create opportunity for these kids so they can somehow advance and find a way out of the situation they're in. And charter school's okay, private school's okay, but the public school system, oh my God, it needs help.
And these like you said, the teachers, they're more than just educators. They're like they're caseworkers, they're social workers, they're like siblings to them, or it's everything and more, and at every level too, even the little ones to the big ones, man.
And I'm a firm believer if something's broken, I fix it. I figure out how I can fix it, What can I do to?
You don't
fix
run from it, yeah.
Right. You know, and I the more people that leave because they're unhappy with the situation, the worse that situation is going to become.
I have a million people that say like, well, it's not that bad in my part of the country. You should move here. I'm like, I don't want to leave my home. You know,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
You gotta
I want
stick
to stay
where
and
you're
fight
at.
for my
Yeah,
home.
even with the climate,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
hot, but you know, I look at that too. I mean, I talk to people and I mean, the extreme weather situation.
Yeah.
I don't know where you go anymore.
Right.
Right.
You know, you got tornadoes flying through the Midwest.
crazy.
You got the hurricanes here. You got
flooding
blizzards. You got
everywhere, yeah.
flooding.
That
You know?
Hurricane Aaron that luckily
Yeah,
turned
thank
up
God.
and
Yeah,
went
it went
up.
that way, but-
That to date is the strongest hurricane on record.
Yeah, and it's
just
right now. It's happening right now as we're speaking.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's been coming up on the campaign trails. If
Yeah.
we're going to be ready for hurricane season, I don't know.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I'm really, really worried if we're going to be ready this year.
Right, and this is just this year. Imagine it's not going to just slow down. It's every year is going to
Yeah.
get more and more intense.
Like
you know?
we've talked, I'm a prepper, and so as soon as like June rolls around, I've got a plan. I roll it out.
Right.
I'm ready, and because if I'm ready and can survive it, then I can go out and go help people.
Yeah.
You know,
City's got to be ready though too.
I know.
city's
I
gotta be
agree.
ready.
I agree.
Stormwater drains.
I agree.
I mean,
Right.
it's
You know, the city definitely. We have such an aged infrastructure.
Yeah.
You look at like South Tampa off Bay Shore.
Well, South
and all
Tampa,
that.
if it rains a lot, it's flooded.
Right.
it's flooding in East Ybor every time
Every
it
time.
rains right
Yeah,
now, and I'm
every
like,
time.
we haven't even got to the worst part.
Right.
yet.
Right. And Tampa, I mean, that South Tampa, all that was built in the 50s, 40s, and 50s,
Right.
and it was never updated to suit the amount of people that have moved in that area.
It's on the development stage again. It's like maybe before we start developing, we should fix what we already have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and we overdeveloped so much. There is literally nowhere for stormwater to go anymore.
Right.
You know?
Density.
that's the problem. Yep.
It's a shame, and it's tough. It's real tough.
Yep.
So
Well, what do you think? You know, it's been about an hour. Well, you want to let this nice gentleman get back to all the busy work that he's doing, or let's talk about voting. Is September 4th is early voting, right? When's the actual
early
voting?
voting is September 4th to September 7th. Mail-in voting's already started.
Yeah,
Actually,
I got mine.
I got mine today. I was
Yeah, mine
like,
too.
oh, my name's going to be on. I didn't.
That's gotta be cool, man.
It was kind of a weird moment. It was definitely, I knew it because I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw somebody that they had penciled the thing in.
That's cool,
And I was
man.
like, oh, and then I got home and mine was in my mailbox and I was like, how weird is this? My
Yep.
name's on this thing.
yeah, I can't wait to open. I haven't opened mine yet, but I saw it in the mailbox. I was like, oh man,
So
And
excited.
then voting day is September 9th.
September
Yeah.
9th. All right, cool.
So
Yeah,
we'll
my
see
wife,
what
man.
happens with that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really excited about the next, I guess, 11 months
Right.
of Crowbar.
Yeah,
like I
man.
know
Oh, I'm gonna
that
be in there a lot.
we're gonna have some really, like I already know, like there's stuff that's in the works that I'm not gonna say,
No.
but I know we've got some huge the support that we've gotten from artists that that have reached out to me that have no business playing that room at this point, that are like, we have to play your room one last time. It's gonna.
man. I love that.
That's why I looked at it. I was like, I have to basically orchestrate my own demise because we have to make this send off something that people can keep with them, like the memories that they can keep with
Yeah,
them forever.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not often that you can write your own eulogy effectively.
Yeah, fucking
I'm gonna
hey.
try.
That's pretty great.
That's
man.
cool, man. It's going to be an expensive year for me.
I can't wait to see it all happen,
Yeah,
man.
me
And
too.
it's like you said, bittersweet. It's going to be an amazing memory for anybody that's Ybor bound or Ybor connected. At the same time, it's like, damn, got to see another great place go.
I mean, the only other thing I'd say is, like, you never say never. I've told people this because people are like, well, what about another venue, blah, blah, blah. I've told people, I was like, listen, I can't say for sure that I would be willing to be the person that's there every day.
Yeah.
But like I said, with a consulting company, and especially if hopefully I'm working within the city, there's so many projects that I would like to see happen to keep music alive in this city. Like the band shell,
Yeah.
over there at Perry Harvey Senior Park.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about on the forum yesterday, like I told him, like, listen, whether I get elected or not, I want to help with that.
Yeah.
Because that neighborhood could really use it. And I told him, I said, I know enough people, aside from the city funding that we should be able to get, I know enough people that I think would donate and help get that thing live, so we could have local artists playing that park for that community in that neighborhood. You know, things like Rock the Park don't just have to happen downtown. They could happen in East Tampa, or in different neighborhoods where they're starving for some sort of community activity in there that could create some brightness for them, you know? So there's that, or, you know, if there was a property where they're like, we want to revitalize this and do something in it, sign me up. Like, let's go. Let me spread my knowledge that for the most part locally has been at 1812 North 17th Street, and let me activate it for the city of Tampa in a larger way than just FMAM events. Like, use me to help us have better opportunities, not just to bring touring artists in, but to create better models and different things and for our local artists here. And I'm really, I mean, I always, like you said, I'll make sure it happens one way or another, whether the city activates me or not, or if I come in and just say 2 fingers up, like I'm doing this because I have the time to do it now. I'm going to talk to as many people as possible. You got a lot of different historic buildings and theaters that traditionally don't do music. Let me talk to you about it, you know, because we can activate those rooms. We're gonna have to look at different ways as these independent venues kind of tighten up and it gets harder for them to do things. And there's different businesses in town that I've already started talking to that are gonna add music into their catalog. That's cool. And I've been talking to them about the best way to do it, where you should put your stage, what type of sound system to get. So for anybody out there that's listening to this that is worried about music in Ybor City and music in the city of Tampa after Crowbar leaves, don't worry.
Okay.
Like,
you know,
there will be a new chapter being written. I will be a defender of music in the city for a very, very long time.
I'm very glad to hear that, because I don't know if you know, but my house that I have, I'm in VM Ybor. I have a basement, a full size, like 8 foot
we've talked
deep.
about this.
And I've been begging my wife to let me host a basement show.
So, I mean, hell, why not?
I'll have you manage it. We'll set up where the stage is going to go.
Well,
I'm
anybody who's doing something in music, they'd be an idiot to turn down any help from Tom DeGeorge.
How do you get a basement? People have basements.
There's basements.
I do.
This building has a basement.
Well,
but not really.
But my house does. It's wild.
Huh, that's crazy.
Cool. That's where we wrote out Irma, because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Oh shit!
And I just bought the.
You're safe down there. That's gotta be great.
It's all like steel girders and everything. It's not going anywhere.
Well, I know where to go when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, for sure.
And so one last question I'll leave you before you go. Upon closing of Crowbar, what's going to happen to the Steel Monsters?
Okay, I heard about this. The Steel Monsters. Tell them about it a little bit. Tell them a little bit about the Steel Monsters.
Well, I don't know if you remember we speaking about it years ago. But my first
Opus Industrial made those for me.
Yeah, so my first marriage was to Alexis. And Opie had made those, and he sent me pictures like, hey, this is going to be your guy's wedding present. And then he disappeared up to Virginia Beach. And then I had no way to get a hold of him. And then one day I went to Crowbar with her.
Did you ever tell me that?
I don't know if I did.
I don't ever remember.
I went to Crowbar, and I was like, there's my monsters up there.
That's awesome.
Like, son of a bitch, those are my monsters.
I mean, if they were supposed to be yours, I guess I'd have to give them to you. I don't know what I would do with them. I guess I'd give them to you.
I guess you just called dibs.
If you want them,
I would love to have
I'll give
them
to you.
There you go.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't even.
Like, have you thought about what you're going to do with everything that's in there?
There's so much stuff in there.
I know. I haven't. Like, it's.
Jeez. I bet you there's a lot of people that want to take a piece
I know.
Yeah.
When I start thinking about it a little bit, it like makes me sad. So
I know.
I haven't really thought about it that much. I know at some point I have to think about it, and you know, like what I'm going to try to keep, what I'm going to have to give away to people. There has been some things there that in this. If you're out there listening, if you're one of these people, go fuck yourself. But there has been times, and man, it pisses me off when this happens. I'll be like going from the office to the door, and I look and I'll look in the wall and go,
Oh,
thing's gone, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
And
me.
like, there's been things stolen right off the wall over
Yeah.
the years.
That's not cool.
That happens
my
to
God.
Evan over at the Spookeasy all the time too.
It'd be stolen right off my wall. And I'm
Yeah.
going, well, I can't get that back again.
Right.
You know, that was like a one of a kind
Yeah.
award or something like that.
That
I'll be
sucks.
gone. So, my current thought process is try to protect the shit that's on the walls.
Yeah.
Right now, like people ripping posters that are wallpapered right off.
God, I bet. Look, for those out there, if you do want some, this nice gentleman will probably give you
Yeah.
what you're asking
When
for.
it's
Don't steal
over.
it.
Yeah, when it's over.
When it's
Yeah.
over. Don't
Yeah.
Don't
steal.
start ripping it off
Yeah.
our walls now.
Yeah.
So,
right.
yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Man,
Thanks for
thank
taking
you
some
so
time.
much.
Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much for having me on. I really
appreciate
appreciate
you.
this. Was awesome.
And
Man.
we're rooting for you big time.
Thank
You got
you.
our vote, so.
DeGeorgeforTampa.com.
Yep, there you go.
And we're still looking for donations. Campaigns are expensive, but yeah, just if you live in District 5 and you never vote for city council, vote this time. Activate your vote.
Yeah.
I really believe the city's at a crucial point.
Yeah.
And, you know, when we talk about, like we said, it's Ybor, East Ybor, Channelside, downtown, you know, the Heights. All these areas, they have unique needs, but I really believe we need somebody sitting at that table
I agree.
that gets it, that
Yeah.
wants to really speak from the bottom to the top and
Yeah.
not top down politics. You know, we got to protect our core.
I
you
agree,
know,
man.
and I want that responsibility.
Yeah, I know
For
there's
sure.
a lot of people out there that are like complaining about Tampa this and this and that, and then they don't vote for
don't
people that
vote.
really care.
Yeah.
Vote.
So get out there and vote.
Please do.
Period.
Please do.
Cool.
Well,
All
thank
right,
you so much, Tom.
All
I
right, guys,
appreciate you
thanks
very
for
much,
having
man.
me.
Thank you.
This was a great experience.
Good, man. Thank you for us as well. I appreciate you.
All right, so signing off for the Bermuda podcast, Taylor Durden, Max Herman. Come see us again sometime, huh? Let's get lost.
All right. See
See
ya.
ya.